question is, can 100 men beat one gorilla? And the answer is most likely. Just hear me out. Hear me out first. Before we go on, let us give the accolade to the champion, the strong man in this whole scenario, the gorilla. The gorilla in its own sense is a very powerful animal. Let's not forget that. I'm not sure if it's standing up or just proning with its forward hand, but just standing, it ranges from 1.2 meters to 1.8 meters, which is roughly 4 feet 1 inches and also 5 feet 11 inches. So in other words, whether a gorilla is proning or standing, I think it's going to be taller than most of us. Some people estimate a gorilla is as strong as 10 men, or some people say 4 men. I guess that's chimpanzee for 4 men, but gorillas are very strong, especially their arms. Let's not take that away from them, but they are not as big as people envision. Some people probably think a gorilla with one of its hand will hold a man's waist, but that's not the case. A gorilla is big, but not overly big. This is a rough estimate of how big a gorilla will be, close to a roughly 6-foot man, thereabout. Average for men should be around 5'7", 5'8", 5'7" to 6 foot. 6 foot is kind of the upper echelon, but this is what a gorilla will be like. See the pronouncement of his arms. His arms is bigger than the guy's thighs. So imagine the strength you have to leap as a human being. He has roughly 4 times of that in his arms just to leap. So this is a beast. This is not a small animal. But yet, after giving it all its accolades, we have to classify man. Men are not something to be joked with. Apart from physical strength, men also have intellect. So a man with intellect has another superpower that you cannot play with. That is something to fight for. A man with something to fight for is dangerous. It's not just dangerous, he is also brutal in his approach. The only problem is when you have men that don't have something to fight for, e.g. children, family, different kind of things, and they are just living for themselves and sitting around, then you might say, okay, these people, once they see the first person die, they will run away. But men who have something to fight for thousands of years, have fought wars that were impossible to win, but they still won it. So don't underestimate men. For us to analyze this battle, we have to analyze different scenarios of this kind of battle, because it's not a zero-sum game that, oh, once men meet gorilla, men win, or once men meet gorilla wins. No, there are many factors we need to consider. There are many, but I've narrowed them to 3, but in 2 segments. So let me list the first segment. First segment is fighting the gorilla one by one. The second segment will be fighting the gorilla 100 versus 1. 100 men coming one by one to fight the same gorilla, and the second scenario will be the 100 men fighting the gorilla at once. And in these 2 segments, I have 3 categories. The first scenario will be the men are allowed to fight with weapons. The second scenario will be the men are not allowed to fight with weapons, but they can fight with the tools around them, e.g. grass, twigs, vines, sticks, different kind of things. They can fight with their environment. And the last scenario will be they are only allowed to fight with their bare hands. I think that's fair. And for you to also have an estimate of what men have the potential to be like, because I am trying to use the best of a gorilla in this particular scenario to show you guys that gorillas are not something to be played with, but also we need to give you an example of what the best of men can be like. Not necessarily best in all round, but physique kind of. So the first on our list is Mark Felix. This guy is a monster. There was this contest, I think it's Mr. Olympia. No, not Mr. Olympia. Mr. Olympia is the contest one. World's Strongest Man, where he was pulling 2 pillars. Very iconic.
Going for that world record, and he's closing in. How much do you want it? Listen to Manchester United, to Mark Felix. Yeah!
Let's get the stats for this man. This man is 6'4", 140 kg, and a gorilla can be as heavy as 240 kg, I think. So this man is 140 kg, just one man. His strength is not equal to a gorilla, but this man is very strong. He's 59 years old now. Seems on the older side, but imagine him in his prime. Strong man. So if I need somebody to choke out a gorilla, this is my one candidate. Yes, but I don't think he can take down a gorilla on his own. Who will be my second candidate? candidate, Mark Henry. For the wrestling fans, you've seen Mark Henry. He's big. He's 6'4" and 163 kg. This man's a beast, but he's a little old now. He can't do what he used to do anymore. How old is he now? He's 53 now, a little old. But in his prime, this man was bringing pain to the WWE universe.
Just ripped the cage door off his hinges. Look at that! He did it!
My third candidate will be Hafthor Bjornsson. This guy, you might know him as the Mountain in Game of Thrones. Very tall guy, strong, big guy. This guy is 6'9", giant. We all know big doesn't equate to strength, but to that level, we've seen some of his feet, but he's not as strong as the other guy I'm about to show you. But this is Hafthor Bjornsson. You don't need him to be the strongest in the world, but he is strong enough for his hand to cover a man's head. He's strong. And the guy that is by metrics stronger than him, not necessarily in reality, but with all the metrics that have been measured, he and they both fought one-on-one and all.
First round, Eddie's got a cheeky look on his face every time. He seems to have really thrown Hafthor. Eddie's coming around. These gaps.
All those feet of lifting, this guy, Eddie Hall, is a beast. He's a beast, not as big as Hafthor Bjornsson, but he's 6'2", maybe on the smaller side for every other person. But what he lacks in height, he adds in width, in girth. Hey, Eddie Hall. He ranges from 142 kg to 197 kg. I'm guessing when he needs to bulk up for his strongman tournament, he will add a lot of weight, and when he needs to fight for like MMA, he will take away that weight, because that weight is not exactly beneficial when you are fighting and you need endurance. He fought 2 average guys. I'm not how big are these guys? I don't even know why they agreed to this tournament, and I heard that they were trying to taunt him to be also very violent, and he became violent. This was how he handled both of them. He was throwing both of them, but this one was. If you're enjoying this video, please leave me a like, share the video if you are enjoying it so far, and subscribe. We need your support. It's small for you, but it's a huge thing for us. Just a button away. Click it.
He goes on the single leg, trying to fight. Picking one guy, slams him down. Eddie Hall! The right hand for Eddie Hall. He's knocked him out. One shot. It's all into.
Like toy. He threw the other guy like a toy. But all this to say is men, not the average men, but men in general are heavy and strong. We've had people like this in history taking down people that were bigger than them, and also doing feats that were dangerous, taking down animals that were 100 times their mass, different kind of things, taking down leopards, taking down bears, different kind of things, but in groups. That is where the strength of human beings come into play. So let's go through the list and go through them one by one, or rather the different case. Starting from one by one. If men were to go with weapons, they choose their weapon. We don't estimate what type of weapon they are going to use. The man will win. It just depends on the kind of weapon and the training that man will have. He most likely will win. Not saying somebody can be careless and do something stupid and maybe shit their pants when they get there. They can lose in that way. So the likelihood a man will win is very high. So without a weapon but with the tools around him, he's dead. The probability that a man will win in that scenario is very low. Let's say less than 5%, except he had a lot of time to prepare before he meets the gorilla. If he was to go with his bare hands, he'd rather just sacrifice himself. He's dead. He's dead. He's going to be torn apart. There's no doubt about it. So, and for the aspect of 100 men going at the same time, if they go with weapons, there's no chance for the gorilla. Even if they go with knife, the gorilla is dead. If they go with the smallest weapon, let's say a kitchen knife, maybe some men will die, but the gorilla will surely die. If they go without weapons, and they're supposed to use the tools around them, whether they have time or they don't have time, the gorilla is coming down. The chance for the gorilla to win, there is a small chance though. There is a small chance, but it's almost impossible. Men have taken down greater animals, bigger animals, more dangerous animals than the gorilla. And the other one will be if they went with their bare arms, you might say, the gorilla has chance. But I don't think so. All you need is 10 to 20 men, bare hands, 10 to 20 men. Everybody is in charge of one part of the gorilla. What parts do you need to take care of? The two limbs, the 2 hands, and the rear what do you call gorilla? Do they have 4 hands or what? I don't know. The 4 limbs are taken care of by 8 people, 2 people on each limb. Then the rest can do whatever they want. We just need somebody who is as big as Eddie Hall or Hafthor Bjornsson to just choke the animal out. And once they choke the animal out, we can do whatever we want to do. I'm not saying people will not be injured or some people will not die. Some people will die, but men will still win. There is nothing that can stop men from winning, but people will die. Let's not get that twisted. As long as these men have something that they are fighting for, they will win. But if it's just men that don't care and they are sissy men, the probability of them winning will be roughly like 20%. But I think they'll still win because they want to protect their life. That's the one thing they want to protect. But men who have more than their lives to protect, they are more dangerous. And go and look at history. Men have overcome the most dangerous of things, environment, animals, scenarios, and different things. So don't underestimate men, and it shall be well with you. Anyhow, though, that's my own take. Maybe you want me to do for women. I don't think women will stand a chance. I don't think so. Sorry. That's my own bias. If you don't agree with me, that's your problem. If you think my analysis was not good enough, leave your own statement in the comments below and tell me where I missed it. But if you think I got it right, leave me a thumbs up and also like the video and share it to the people so that we can end this debate once and for all. I'll see you guys and girls in the next time. Bye bye.